All right, so we're on the fifth. So we're on the fifth here. It's going to be a 7-note away perfect fifth, noting that that's the same as the major scale. It's also the same as the minor, which is what we would typically expect from the perfects. So you will recall that the Lydian has everything the same as the major in terms of the intervals, except for the fourth, which has a 6-note away, which should be called an augmented fourth. My worksheet is pulling in the diminished fifth because of the way the worksheet's set up, so it's still 6 notes away. We talked about that last time, but that's the one interval that's different, which should be an augmented fourth, 6 notes away. So the fifth, we're back to basically the same here as on the major scale. We really want to know the fifth. We get a lot of practice with the fifth because the fifth is something that I can add basically to any note within any mode as long as it's in there, except when I get to the Locrian, right? On this one, this B has a minor a flat fifth. So again, notice what we're kind of doing here is that's going to be the idea. So we're going to be going into that fifth. So if I look at it from a chord construction, we have the 1, 3, 5 because it's the odd number. It's going to be the same naming construction when we look at it from a chordal construction as well. So let's measure it out up here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 7-note away. 7 notes away would be too far away up this way. So I'm going to go behind it and we're going to go this way. So remember, if I was to wrap this string around in a circle, the 12 notes, then we can go one way around the circle or the other way around the circle. If I was going to go this way around the circle, it would be 7 steps. Therefore, if I go the other way around the circle, it's got to be 12 minus 7, which would be 5. So 5 notes back. So if I count it out this way from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it would be here. So back to here. So it'd be from this C, which is kind of twangy because I need to fix my guitar, but they're there. And if I went from this F, so if I went from this C to this F, measuring from the C, that would be a 5-note away, which would be a perfect fourth. But if I measure from the F back to the C, the inverse, that's going to be then the 7-note away perfect fifth. Okay, let's go above it now. So if I go above it, I'm looking for this one. So when I go above it, I have to look for the inverse distance. So if I'm talking about a 7-note away perfect fifth, 12 minus 7 is 5. So I'm looking for a distance of 5, remembering that we're crossing the fault line. This is the tectonic plate that moved to the right. So when I go up, I can't just simply go up to 5 here, but rather I have to go diagonally back. I'm not going to go up to 4 because I don't count in 4s. So I go diagonally back to get to 5-note distance. So there it is right there. So this is the only time, so if we would cross the fault line. So if I go from right there, 5, distance of 5, top to bottom, C, whoop, that's the wrong one, from here to there. So top to bottom, measuring from the C, would then be a 5-note away perfect fourth. But if I measure from the bottom, F, measuring from the F to C, that would be then a 7-note away perfect fifth. That means if I go up 1 string and cross the fault line, the 7-note away perfect fifth will be 1 fret back. But that's the only time I would cross the fault line. I wouldn't cross the fault line if I were here. It would be right above it. And if I was on the top continent, up top here, it would just be right above it. So the general rule is, if I go up 1 string, the 7-note away perfect fifth will be on the same fret unless I cross the fault line, which only happens on the B string, which is the string I happen to be on, in which case, if I go up 1 string and cross the fault line, the 7-note away perfect fifth will be 1 fret back, baby. Let's go up 2 frets, or 2 strings. 2 strings up, right there, boom. Shaka-laka. Okay. So let's go up 2 strings. So I'm looking for the 7-note away perfect fifth. Therefore, I have to look for the inverse distance because I'm going above it. 12 minus 7 is 5. So if I'm up here, then I'm going to go -5 going this way, and then 10. So that's going to be 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All right. So if I'm right here, we're going to say from here, that's going to be -5, and then 10, and then 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Boom, boom. So if I went from top to bottom, wait a sec. Hold on. It's going to be negative 5, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. So there it is. Right. So if I went from top to bottom, from that C to F, that would be a 5-note away perfect fourth. From bottom to top would be then a 7-note away perfect fifth. Okay, so if I go up 2 strings and cross the fault line, the 7-note away perfect fifth will be 1, 2, 3, 4 frets forward. However, I wouldn't cross the fault line if I started above the fault line on either this G or the D string. So if I was on one of these strings, like this F right here, for example, and I went up 2 strings, it would be out here. So the general rule would be, if I go up 2 strings, the 7-note away perfect fifth will normally be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets forward, unless I cross the fault line, which would happen on either the B or the E string, in which case, if I go up 2 strings and cross the fault line, the 7-note away perfect fifth will be 4 frets forward. All right, let's go up another string. So we'll go up to here. And so now we're going to say, okay, I go up 3 strings. So I'm looking for a 7-note away perfect fifth. The inverse distance, because I'm going above it, is 12 minus 7, or 5. So a distance of 5. I'm going to go negative 5 this way. 5, 10, 15. So there's only 12 notes in the musical alphabet. So 15 minus 12 is negative 3, negative 3, 4, 5. Let's count it out this way. So I'm going to say negative 5, negative 10, negative 15. Only 12 notes in the musical alphabet. So 15 minus 12 is negative 3, 4, 5. So if I went from top to bottom, this C to F, that would be a 4-note away perfect fifth. If I go from bottom to top, therefore, the inverse is a 7-note away. I'm sorry, if I go from top to bottom, that would be a 5-note away perfect fourth. If I went from bottom to top, it would be a 7-note away perfect fifth. So if I go up 3 strings, the 7-note away perfect fifth will be 1, 2, 3 frets back. If I go up 3 strings and cross the fault line, I wouldn't cross the fault line if I started above the fault line, which would be on this G string. So if I was on this F and I went up 3 strings, it would be here. So the general rule would be, if I go up 3 strings, the 7-note away perfect fifth will be 2 frets back unless I cross the fault line, which would happen 2 out of 3 possible times, in which case, if I go up 3 strings and cross the fault line, the 7-note away perfect fifth will be 3 frets back. All right, let's go up to the top one. The top one here. All right, now if I'm on the top string and I'm measuring from the second to bottom string, I might say, well, it would be easier for me to go below it and then match it to the top one because the notes are the same on the top and bottom strings. So I could go below it if it's a 7-note away perfect fifth. When I go underneath it, I don't have to take the inverse distance. That makes it easier, 7 notes. And it's going to be, I don't have to go diagonal. It's right underneath. So that's 5, 6, 7. There's the C there. There's the C up top. But if I count it up top, because we can do that, it would be an inverse distance, 12 minus 7, which would be 5, a 5-note distance, counting negative 5 this way, 10, 15. 15 minus 12 notes in a musical alphabet is negative 3, plus another 5 is 8, so negative 8, 7, 6, 5. Let's count it out this way. So we're going to say this is going to be negative 5, 10, 15. 15 minus 12 is negative 3, plus another 5 is 8. 8, 7, 6, 5. So from here to here, so if I go from top to bottom, that's C to F, that would be a 5-note away, which would be a perfect fourth. Bottom to top would therefore be a 7-note away perfect fifth. All right, let's go below it. So if I go below it, we already checked it out briefly, but therefore if I go below it, I don't have to take the inverse distance. 7-note away perfect fifth then is 7 notes away. So I'm just going to say 5 is directly below it, 6, 7, boom. So, oh, by the way, that top one, we always cross the fault line. So if I go up 4 strings, I will always cross the fault line, and therefore, if I go up 4 strings, I will cross the fault line, and the 7-note away perfect fifth will be 2 frets forward. If I go down here, from here, it's going to be 5 down here, 6, 7. So that top to bottom, 7-note away perfect fifth, which means if I measure from the C, bottom to top, that would be a 5-note away perfect fourth. And so that means that if I go down one string, the 7-note away perfect fifth will be 2 frets forward unless I cross the fault line, which only happens on the G string. So if I was on the G string, like here, for example, then it would be out here. So the rule is, if I go down one string, the 7-note away perfect fifth will be 2 frets forward unless I cross the fault line, which only happens on the G string, in which case if I go down one string and cross the fault line, the 7-note away perfect fifth will be 1, 2, 3 frets forward. All right, so now we're going to go to the next one. We'll try to crank these out because I'm going to try to get to the last two here. So